to quickly go over some of the information that I have on the Brown University shooting. Um, I have some updated information, so I'm gonna go through that story as fast as I can because there's updates on that, and then I want to try to get into another story. That's important as well. Um, of course, before we start, I want to read my Bible verse. Um, so I'm gonna read this one. Um, hold on. I waited while you spoke. I listened to your reasoning while you were searching for words. I gave you my full attention, but not one of you has proved Job wrong. Job wrong. None of you has answered his argument. Do we not say we have found wisdom? Let God, not a man, refute him. But Job has not marshaled his words against me, and I will not answer him with your argument. So that's part of what I wanted to say. Okay, so we have a few videos I wanna show you to get into that I didn't get to show you the last time. So we're gonna start from the beginning. Some of it you might already know already because of breaking news and things like that. But there's other people who don't watch the news at all and may only get their news from this podcast and only hear about it through this podcast. So I'm gonna start with this one.
This new person. Now, I don't know if this new person is at the wrong place at the wrong time or he's the spotter. He's transporting the weapon. He's the getaway driver. But the dumbest thing I ever heard today, they asked the cop, the chief, well, you saw the guy, the suspect, walk past one of the patrol cars.
Oh, wait,
they
hold
haven't
on.
even interviewed anybody that was there. I mean, so this is taking forever. And they say they don't have cameras outside the building, but they have cameras inside the building, but they're not releasing any of the footage from inside the building because they don't think it's useful. All right. Then they didn't put any cameras on outside of the building, and the building is right up against the residential area. Now, if this were
okay, so basically, I'm going to sum that up for you. Like I said in my last podcast about this case, makes no fucking sense why there are no cameras. And the fact that this fat fuck, because they tried to say he's husky. He's not husky. He's fucking fat, okay? Husky is like, you're tall, but you have a little bit of weight on you, so you're, the guys like that walk around that have like no neck, like that's husky. This guy is fucking fat. His gut, you could see his gut hanging over his pants, and this motherfucker was just walking around the school, and there's no fucking nobody saw him. Where the fuck was everybody at? What the fuck was everybody doing? And then they won't show the footage of what they recorded in the school. Like, that's suspect and sketchy as fuck. Why wouldn't you show that? I don't understand. Well, why are you hiding that? That makes no sense. I mean, we could literally watch Charlie Kirk get shot in the neck and blood spurt from his neck. We can watch that in real time all over the internet, but we can't see some fat fuck walking the halls of this school before he shot people when maybe he wasn't covered up and we could have recognized him and knew who and somebody could have found him sooner. what was so imperative that you couldn't show that video when you had no clue who this person was and you needed the public's help? Makes no sense. So, the next thing,
is pretty sad on campus. We have been concerned and confused, and hoping that there's more progress in the case. There's definitely uneasiness with the gunman not being in custody.
There's uneasiness because we're not getting any answers from the people in charge. Their press conference, police chief doesn't even know who was in the room during the shooting.
Can you now say kids were in the classroom and did the gunman come in from the back so these people never knew it was coming? Did he come in?
And that's all part of the interviews, and actually we're cooperating with the arrestor. That was a study vault, so we don't have the number. We're still getting information as far as who was there.
It's been 5 days, and you don't have a list of witnesses. You don't even know how many witnesses there are. And the witnesses that you have talked to, he's told you the gunman shouted something, but you don't know what that is.
and I call bullshit on what that was, because if you listen to my podcast when I broke this news, one of the, I believe it was one of the students actually said, he said Allah Akbar, and Megyn Kelly heard the same thing, and I played her video about it, and they don't want to say that he said this because that would fuck up their whole agenda. You know, the left, because they love protecting criminals and fucking foreigners that shouldn't even fucking be here. If you can't assimilate, get the fuck out of the country. And I'm not a racist by any means. Do I say fucked up shit about a race at some point? Yes, I do. But I'm not talking about all of them in general. I'm talking about specific ones. So, no, do I hate the Muslim that gives me cigarettes at the store? No. I talk to them. My daughter says hi and whatever and plays with them and fucking whatever. They give her free candy and shit like that, whatever. I have no problem. I have no problem with anybody. But I'm going to call it like I see it. And when you are being a gross individual, I'm going to call you whatever the fuck I want to call you, because that's what you fucking deserve. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say too much more about this person until we actually know who it is, because I don't want to have to backtrack what I've said. If it is a Muslim or fucking whatever, then it just proves everything. But there's just, we're letting all these people just walked into our country, not vetted, nothing, and they're taking over everything, and they're killing Americans, and everybody's like, oh, ICE is so terrible. ICE is so terrible. Oh my God. They're taking people away from. No, they're not. They're trying to protect you from these fucking people. Because not everybody that hops the fucking border is about taking care of their family and love and peace. Most of these motherfuckers hate America. Hate you. Want you dead. But you want to scream and cry and oh, yeah, there's a few that come here that want to be here. But guess what? Come the right way. If you really want to be in America, come the right way. Get a visa and then work your way into becoming a citizen. and make sure you keep updating your visa so that you don't have to leave. And then by that point, you can become a citizen and whatever. There's plenty of people that come here legally and assimilate, and that's it. I don't know why we're so into breaking the fucking law and protecting fucking criminals. It is ridiculous. The left is ridiculous. And, you know, you don't protect the white guy criminal, you protect all the foreigner criminals. You want to protect criminals? How about protecting the ones that are in jail? That are American citizens. You don't protect them. I don't see you fucking, you know, throwing up all kinds of signs for these motherfuckers. Why? Because, oh, well, they broke the law. They murdered somebody. So did these fucking people. And they shouldn't have been able to murder them because they're here fucking illegally. And if they're not here illegally, they weren't properly vetted. And they're fucking terrorists. We'll get into that. So, here's where what I said the other day. And I said that something didn't seem right. And I felt like this was some targeted bullshit. This was some lefty fucking lunatic bullshit. And I said I wasn't sure. I could be wrong. And I will backtrack if I am. Just like the Muslim thing, I will backtrack that if I'm wrong about that. But from the information that I've received, that's what I went by. So it's not like I just pulled it out of my ass and made it up and wanted it to be that way. I had reliable sources say that's what was said. You know, Megyn Kelly, everybody knows who she is. You know, I believe there was another video I had put up where someone said that, or maybe I didn't post that video, I just watched it. But this is what this guy said.
Comedy, they would turn
Hold
it down.
on,
Because
I
do you
gotta
have a
start it.
theory on this case? Was this a crime of opportunity? This was a soft target. Guy goes in, comes out, and that's it. Kind of mad at the school, or was he going in there to kill a specific individual?
Yeah, in my earliest media hit on Monday morning, that's what I said. And as soon as I saw the name of Ms. Soto, Vice President of the Republic, I just couldn't rule that out. I look at this as a profile. I've been on many task forces over the years, and the DEA agent, 2 professors wrote the their own, and we had to walk in with every single option. Where was someone specifically targeted? And to me, it's more than a coincidence that this young woman was killed. Who had a few representatives of the Republican side of the House in that particular very far left version. Something isn't right there. And just for anything else, I'm also a forensic linguist. What the heck did that guy yell when he walked in the door? There's such a thing as ear witness evidence, not just eyewitness, ear witness. Somebody has to know. And if it comes out later that the Brown people, Brown University or the Providence PD is holding back what his source said because it wasn't politically read, that's going to be really, really a problem.
That's gonna have legal repercussions. They're also the university holding that video. They sent that video inside the auditorium. They're not releasing it because it doesn't show a picture of the face of the gun. Is that proper?
Look, I want to give the investigators on the ground, including the FBI now, I hope, and the Rhode Island State Police, some leeway here. They're inside, we're all.
So there's that. So the whole thing is just fucking sketchy. Whether he was Muslim or not, or some fucking crazy leftist dude white dude, whatever. It's just weird. The whole thing is weird. And we don't have enough information on it even today. And then come to find out, which I'm going to read you right now. Wait, we're still rolling. All right, good. I thought I just messed up my whole thing here. All right. So anyway, we have some information that this was not the only shooting that took place. So law enforcement officials have identified a possible suspect in connection with a mass shooting at Brown University and issued a warrant for the individual's arrest. Later Tuesday evening, law enforcement told ABC that police activity in Salem, New Hampshire could be connected to the manhunt for the possible suspect. The development comes after multiple sources briefed on the investigation told ABC News that the Brown shooting and the murder of an MIT professor in Brookline, Massachusetts may be linked. The information about the possible connection between the two incidents was developed in the last 24 hours as detectives working on both cases compared notes, the source said. On Saturday afternoon, 2 Brown students were killed, 9 others were injured in the mass shooting. The gunman fled the scene and has not been publicly identified. On Monday night, an MIT professor, Neo F.G. Lorario, I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, was found shot at his home in the upscale Boston suburb of Brookline. Officials said Lorario, 47, died on Tuesday at the hospital. So there was that, and then I'm going to read you a little bit of backstory on him. The still unsolved shooting death of an acclaimed Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor this week has sent shockwaves through the campus and the broader fusion energy research community in which he was prominent. Nuno taught plasma physics at the elite university and led its plasma science and fusion center. The 47-year-old was shot in his home in Brookline, Massachusetts Monday and died at a nearby hospital the next day. His death is being investigated as a homicide. Police have not identified a suspect in the homicide, which occurred 2 days after the shooting at another elite college, Brown University, in neighboring Rhode Island. Left 2 dead, 9 injured. Law enforcement is investigating possible connections between Brown and the university shooting and the physicist's homicide. He was not only a brilliant scientist, he was a brilliant person. Colleague Dennis Wyatt said in his obituary published Tuesday by MIT, he's shown a bright light as a mentor, friend, teacher, colleague, and leader, and was universally admired for his articulate, compassionate manner. His loss is immeasurable to our community at PSFC, NSC, and MIT, and around the entire fusion plasma research world. Let's see. Sources tell NBC that he wasn't working on anything classified, as there's no classified work being performed on the campus. Their hearts go out to his wife, students, friends, things like that. His research was widespread. Now, not only is this crazy lunatic going to one school, but went to a whole other fucking school, and or not even another school, went to this guy's home and shot him. And he happened to work at MIT. And as far as we can tell from right now, there is no reason to why this man was shot. From what we just read, the guy was a good guy. Yeah, he didn't deserve it. There was nothing, going on with him that was strange, that people would say, oh, that he probably got shot because of this. There was nothing. He just was at his home and got shot. And then right after that, a shooting at Brown University happened. Fucking strange. And the fact that they just now connected the two together, fucking blows my mind. But we do have updating news. I literally just got it right before I went on.
Talk to the second person.
Yeah. So we are just getting some new reporting that was, I'm sure you saw earlier, but we can now report this. And this is coming from Brooke Taylor also. Providence police have identified the suspected Brown University shooter, and they are also they have a warrant. So we're going to hear more about this, obviously, in just a few minutes at this news conference. And they're also investigating a possible link between the Brown University shooting and the MIT murder. Paul, I know you were also aware that this may be coming, and now we are getting some confirmation that this is what we're likely to learn here a few minutes ago.
Okay, and here's the other
The
one.
car here is key, and if there is a link between the two crimes, it looks like it does come down to the car. How did they ascertain that? It's going to be an LPR, a license plate reader. It was something that we talked about earlier in the week, that if they were able to get some information from a license plate reader, it may be how they could get who it was that was in this area of Rhode Island that maybe was not normally here. It's the kind of thing that you look at to develop a clue what doesn't fit. The other way, though, this could work is that if they, in fact, developed a car here in Rhode Island, which I think they did, you then put an alert on that car, and this is stuff that's out there. It's not deep dark tradecraft. You put the alert on the car, because now you can't find this person because you have a name, you have a car of interest, you put an alert on it, and at some point, that car is going to trip an alarm elsewhere. If I had to guess, and the information's coming fast, and I only want to talk about stuff that's verified, so I want to be clear, I'm speculating a bit, but if I had to guess, so you had an alert on the car tripwired someplace near the second crime, MIT. It took them a while to put that together. That's the commonality. And right now, the reporting is that they are really in pursuit of that name and making progress.
In the Northeast, and police now say they could be connected. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips. We begin with that breaking news. Multiple sources briefed on the investigation, telling ABC News the mass shooting at Brown University and the murder of an MIT professor in Massachusetts may be linked. Let's bring in our Christian Cordero there on the scene in Providence, Rhode Island. Also, our chief investigative correspondent, Eric.
So we don't need to play that whole video because I already read you everything, and they're probably just gonna say the same shit that I already said anyway. But before I came on, they did say that they found the car, that they believe the suspect was driving, and they looked like they were going in after somebody. Now, I don't know if they actually caught the guy because I walked away and I ended up on the podcast because I was like, oh shit, I gotta cover this because of the MIT guy. That was new and that needed to be covered. And then I needed to cover the fact that they possibly found the guy, or they had a suspect and they found the car. So I at least wanted to get that out. Whether they arrested somebody right now, I don't think they did yet, but they're very close. I would be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if by the time I get off here, I turn on the news and they said they got him. Because that's possible. But if that is possible, I will report on that in another video. Because I have to keep up with the story. I can't tell you half of the story and then never talk about it again. I'm not Candace Owens. I don't drop bombs on you and then say, stay tuned. Come back tomorrow. And then you come back tomorrow and what I'm talking about has nothing to do with what I said yesterday. And I gave you no answers and just more questions. So I'm curious as to who did it. I want to know just as bad as you do. I want to know for sure if these two cases are connected. I want to know what this guy is. Is he just some crazy white guy, lefty lunatic? Or did he mean to kill that Republican student? Was that who he was gunning for? And he just, buck shots off at other people just because he could? Whatever, just to scare everybody. Because it's just odd that he went for her, and the other kid that died, did he even actually mean to kill him, or did he kill him just to make it look like he didn't go just after her? And then he obviously wasn't good about shooting because he shot 9 people and they all lived. So he made sure he killed that girl and this boy, but he didn't make sure he killed the 9 people he shot. He just sprayed bullets and left. So why did he kill these 2? And was it a targeted hit? That's what I want to know. And I want to know what he yelled. And if this is some Muslim bullshit, or if this is some left bullshit, or both, because it could very well be both. I'm just curious. So now what we're going to talk about is the terror attack plot that was thwarted, thank God. Before anything could happen. Hold on one second. I just wanna see something.
Do not mistake what I mean by defeat them. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. But I want to make that clear right now. This is not a call for violence. Here is what I will say about left-wingers. Is that how we solve our problems? When Hassan saw that, his first reaction was to make a glib remark about gun control. Seriously?
Okay. I'm sorry, I wanted to mute that because I didn't want you to hear the video playing before I played it. I wanted to make sure I'm playing the right 2 videos for this. But before I start with the videos. I'm going to read you some things because I have, what do I have now? I have the complaint against these people from the terror attack and a couple of articles from the DOJ that I found. So I'm going to read some of that, some of these, and then I'm going to read you the arrest complaint. It says 4 members of an anti-capitalist, anti-government group that calls for violence against U.S. officials has been arrested for allegedly plotting to attack 2 U.S. companies with improvised explosive devices, IEDs, this New Year's Eve. The charges made public today show the FBI and our partners disrupted a dangerous New Year's Eve plot to simultaneously target 2 U.S. companies with multiple explosive devices, said FBI Director Kash Patel. The defendants allegedly acquired materials to construct the devices, planned to test them in the Mojave Desert, and used encrypted communication in an attempt to evade detection. But thanks to the FBI and our partners, those efforts failed. The FBI is committed to keeping our homeland safe and making sure those who attempt violent acts face justice. These arrests mark the disruption of dangerous conspiracy to spread fear and terror across Southern California and the United States on New Year's Eve, as well as to conduct future attacks targeting federal officers. This country protects the right to hold extreme views about its past, present, and future, but violence is an unmistakable and enforceable line. Assistant Attorney General for National Security John Eisenberg. The National Security Division is committed to investigating and prosecuting those who cross that line. Working together, federal and local law enforcement prevented a domestic terror attack from occurring New Year's Eve in Southern California, and First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Asile, I think, for Central District of California, far-left anti-government extremist groups seeking to destroy the American way of life will never prevail and will always face the full force of the law. These fucking people. The following defendants were arrested Friday in the Mojave Desert and are charged with conspiracy and possession of an unregistered destructive device. Audrey Eileen Carroll, 30, also known as what the fuck is that? I can't even begin to say what the fuck that name is. Askinok of South Los Angeles. Zachary Aaron, 32, also known as AK of Torrance. Dante Garfield, also known as Nomad. And Tina Lai, also known as Kickware. What in the natural fuck? Or, excuse, not natural fuck. Actual fuck. Are you, like, what the fuck kind of names are these? I mean, you had some normal names and you changed, you call yourself Aznaaki or whatever. Asiginnaak. What the fuck does it, that looks like a word my 3-year-old would put on a piece of paper and think that she'd spelled something like good. The defendants are scheduled to make their initial appearances this afternoon in the U.S. District Court in downtown Los Angeles. According to the affidavit filed with the complaint, Carroll is a member of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, a group that, according to its social media page, is dedicated to the liberation through decolonization and tribal sovereignty and for the working class to rise up and fight back against capitalism. Oh, shut the fuck up. Get fucked in your ass. Please stop. Stop. Turtle Island is a term used by Native Americans to describe North American continent, and the group has promoted anti-capitalist and anti-government sentiment by posting on social media advocating for violence against U.S. officials. In late November 2025, Carroll provided a co-conspirator an 8-page handwritten document titled Operation Midnight Sun, which described a bombing plot. The plan called for backpacks with bombs to be simultaneously detonated at 5 or more locations, targeting 2 U.S. companies at midnight this New Year's Eve in the greater Los Angeles metropolitan area. The plan stated that the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs, including instructions on how to manufacture the bombs, and included guidance to avoid leaving evidence behind that could be traced back to the co-conspirators as the co-conspirators plotted their attack. Carroll acknowledged what they were planning to do would be considered a terrorist attack. Let's see. While in the desert, the co-conspirators took steps to begin construction of the devices, including unloading the bomb-making materials from their cars and beginning to assemble the materials on a table. They also constructed a tent to keep the bomb materials shaded from the sun, wiped down the interior of one of the pipes used for the bombs, and Carroll discussed grinding a precursor for the use of an explosive powder. If convicted, the defendants would face statutory minimum penalty of 5 years in federal prison on conspiracy count, up to 10 years in federal prison on the unregistered destructive device possession count. A federal district court judge will determine any sentence after considering the U.S. sentencing guideline for any other statutory factors. No, they need to be in jail a lot longer than that. Maybe for the rest of their fucking lives. They were planning on killing innocent fucking people and blowing shit the fuck up on New Year's Eve. So not only would the people in the fucking buildings die, but anybody that would have been around those fucking buildings would be dead. I mean, maybe not, depending on what building they were trying to blow up. Maybe there wouldn't have been anybody in there. Maybe, it'd be like a work building and everybody would have been gone. But I highly doubt that. If you're planning on being a fucking terrorist and blowing shit up, you're gonna blow shit up where innocent people are. And this is what's so fucking funny to me. Because the left wants to go, oh, Palestine and innocent people. Israel was killing innocent people. Oh my God. But these left-wing crazy motherfuckers who are fucking stupid and out of control were ready, willing, and able to blow up innocent people on New Year's Eve, which would include children, because children are also in New York watching the ball drop. So you were going to kill innocent people, but yet you want to be mad at Israel because they were at war with Palestine because of Hamas. And you want to talk about hurting innocent people. But the left does nothing but murder innocent, or try to murder innocent people. And most of the time they do. Kids in fucking schools. Pretty sure this guy who shot up this school and this MIT teacher was a fucking lefty too. Or a fucking foreigner, whichever the one, which would make him a leftist anyway. The left is always about fucking violence, but they want to say the right is. No, we're not, because guess what? If the right was about violence, we would have knocked you off your fucking ass. You would be fucked if the right conservatives of this country stood up and fought you and we had a civil war. You would fucking lose. The left would lose, and they would lose terribly. Because we're strong in the sense that we don't have to run around and shoot innocent people all day and run out with our little pitchforks and, oh, fascism and all this other bullshit. No, we're quiet. When we don't like our president, we don't go out and protest. We just deal with it. We go to our jobs. We go fucking take care of our kids. We do what we have to do. We don't stand outside with fucking pussy hats on and fucking complain about how shitty our president is and say he's not our president and all that other bullshit. No, we don't do that. But Antifa and all this fucking shit, you guys want to run around and fucking smash people's windows and attack fucking conservatives walking down the street. If a guy has a MAGA hat on, you fucking have some fucking panic attack and, look ridiculous. Come the fuck on. Grow up. If we decided to fight back, you would be fucked. There would be no more left because we would annihilate you. We would annihilate you. Because there's nothing on the left but a bunch of pussy, whiny, fucking feminist fucking babies. That is the left. You got men who don't know if they're a woman or not. You got fucking feminist women who, are so ready to kill babies, and they want to kill babies up to fucking 36 weeks into pregnancy. The kid's basically crawling out of your vagina already, and you want to have the right to kill that baby. That's what you fucking fight for. And you want fucking illegals to just swarm into the country. And you know why you want them so bad? So that they clean your fucking house. So that they pick your fucking fruit and do all the jobs that you say so-called Americans don't want to do. But yet you call the right racist. That's the most racist shit you could ever fucking say. How does that not click in your fucking head? How does that not click in your head? Oh, we want the illegals here because who's going to clean your bathroom if they're not here? Who's going to pick your fruit? Excuse me? The fuck? If I wasn't illegal, I would find that fucking highly offensive. I'd be like, so the only reason why you are fighting for me to be here is so I can clean your toilet and pick your fruit? The fuck? The fuck? And while I'm on the subject, before I get back into these leftist terrorism bullshit, here's an example of a fucking leftist. This woman in a Target store, she worked there, she's an older woman, and she was wearing a red Freedom shirt for Charlie Kirk. Because I guess they were allowed to wear any kind of shirt they wanted as long as it was red. And this is an example of what I'm talking about.
Accounts, the elderly woman was minding her own business and remained friendly throughout, yet she unexpectedly became the target of Ponce's emotional outburst. The entire incident was aggressive, as if such behavior could validate.
Hold on. That wasn't. I want you to actually hear it. That was them explaining what happened to the girl.
Let's see why you're.
Why?
What the fuck? First of all, Charlie Kirk was not a fucking racist. So I don't know who the fuck told you that or what second and a half clip you watched that you thought he was a racist, but he was far from a fucking racist. So I don't know. I've seen every Charlie Kirk debate he's pretty much ever done, and I've never heard him say anything racist ever. The only thing he has ever said is that the Civil Rights Act is fucked up because trannies are hijacking the Civil Rights Act and that it should be abolished. Not the part about black people. He's not talking about the black people for the Civil Rights Act. He's talking about trans people using the Civil Rights Act. That should be a no-no. Okay? He does not say anything fucking racist ever. And that's usually the first thing they go after is, oh, well, he said stuff about the Civil Rights Act. Yeah, you didn't even listen to the whole fucking thing. So shut the fuck up. Stop it. She can wear whatever the fuck she wants to wear. Shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. And this is what's funny. Because if that was me, I would have punched that bitch right in her fucking mouth. I'll wear whatever the fuck I want to wear. And this is what happens. These lefties, you need to fucking stand your ground with them. It is time for you to turn around and bop one of these motherfuckers in the face. It's time somebody shows them some fucking what respect looks like and show them what standing your ground looks like. Because this fucking shit where they just get away with all this bullshit, they can say whatever they want, do whatever they want, call somebody a racist when they don't even fucking know the person is ridiculous. And you want to talk about fascism and, oh, fascist, but you're actually the fascist. Do you guys even know what the fuck that means? Oh, in a capitalist society. Okay. What's your point? It's worked for us for a long time. I like spending money. So what the fuck? It's out of control. And then you hit one of those motherfuckers and all that fuck the police bullshit they do, the first thing they'd be doing is calling the cops. She hit me in the face and she's a racist. And I would say, you please arrest me. Yes, I punched her right in her fucking face. You want to know why? Because she called me a racist and was harassing me about a shirt I was wearing, which is none of her fucking business. And I'm allowed to wear whatever kind of shirt I want. And she was accosting me. She was calling me fucking names. She was yelling at me and embarrassing me in the store, talking shit and filming me. And I got pissed and knocked her on her fucking ass. And guess what? I bet you the cop would actually feel bad about arresting me. And I wouldn't give a fuck. Put me under the fucking jail. For real. So anyway, back to these fucking scumbags. Oh wait, is this the same thing? Okay, alright, that. Okay, here we go. Working together, federal, local law enforcement prevented a domestic terrorist attack from occurring in New Year's Eve in Southern California. The first assistant United States Attorney Bill S. What the fuck is up with these guys' last names? Like, can't you guys have normal last names like Smith or Jack or fucking, I mean, Jesus Christ. Far-left anti-government extremist groups seeking to destroy the American way of life will never prevail and will always face the force of the law. The Turtle Island Liberation Front, a far-left pro-Palestine, do you see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Didn't I just say? Now, I didn't even know that they were pro-Palestine because it didn't say that in the other article. I said, oh, they go, oh, Palestine, but yet they were willing to set a bomb off in the middle of fucking New York City and kill a bunch of innocent people because they want to say they want to fight against capitalism. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Oh, excuse me. Let me correct myself. It wasn't New York City. They were gonna this was gonna happen in California beginning on New Year's Eve. So it wasn't, so please forget that I said New York. I thought it was New York, and I was looking at New Year's Eve and it looked like New York City. Sorry. So, but either way, the people are all out on New Year's Eve. People are at bars, whatever. There's, concerts and all kinds of shit going on. And to prove whatever stupid fucking point you have, which you don't have one, you're gonna go blow up a bunch of innocent people, but you're pro-Palestine, right? You're pro-Palestine. You want to save people and you don't want people to die because of war, but you're about to blow up innocent people. The fuck? Do you see how you're like, what's the word I'm looking for? You're hypocrites. That's what it is. It's not okay for Jews to kill people, but it's okay for everybody else to kill people. It's just because it's Israel that it's a problem that, they only attacked back because they were attacked first. It's not like Israel just stormed into Palestine and started killing motherfuckers. No, they were attacked first, and then they attacked back. And because they hit back after they were punched, you want to be mad at them. Pro-Palestine. They don't give a fuck about you. They want you fucking dead. You think they're going, oh, look how nice these people were. They were gonna blow up shit for us. Isn't that so? They would cut your fucking head off and hang you from a bridge. You stupid fucking idiots. They also despise and hate fucking gays, and they fucking hate trannies, and they would kill all of them. You're Christian or Catholic, they will fucking kill you. You're a woman and you don't wear a hijab, you have a problem. They like to rape their women and have 17 fucking wives. And they're okay with having children fucking brides. Mohammed's fucking the person that they fucking their god is married a fucking 6-year-old. These are the people that you're holding to this, pro-Palestine. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Anti-government, anti-capitalist group was preparing to conduct a series of bombing against multiple targets in California. The group planned to target ICE agents and vehicles, attorney Pam Bondi said. This was an incredible effort by the attorney's office, FBI, to ensure Americans can live in peace. We will continue to pursue these terror groups and bring them to justice. Oh, so you were gonna go kill ICE officers. Like, get a fucking life. Get a fucking life. Maybe ICE will stop doing their job when you stop crossing the borders fucking illegally. Then ICE won't have to do what they have to do. And like, you're making such a big fucking deal about about people getting deported. Obama deported more people than fucking Trump. His nickname was the Deporter in Chief. And I didn't see any of you out there protesting ICE then and going, oh, no, they didn't get due process. None of those motherfuckers got due process. They were shipped up, packed up, and fucking kicked right over the fucking border. Goodbye. The defendants in this case allegedly plan to carry out terrorist attacks by targeting American businesses with explosives on New Year's Eve, but the FBI Joint Task Force moved quickly and thwarted the planning. This case underscores the persistent threat posed by extremist groups and individuals and critical importance of continued vigilance by law enforcement to safeguard communities. The successful disruption of this plot is a powerful testament to strength of a unified response made possible through close collaboration and tireless efforts of the FBI Terrorism Task Force. And guess what? You suck. You did all that planning and you fucking got caught. You couldn't even carry out what you were doing. I wouldn't be surprised if you made it and the bombs didn't go off and you ended up blowing yourself up because you're so fucking stupid. You weren't even smart enough to keep this under wraps so you didn't get caught. You were just wide out in the open doing some dumb shit. What the fuck do you think this is? This is Trump's America. You could have got away with it when Sleepy Joe was in office because that motherfucker didn't know his ass from his elbow. The motherfucker was reading teleprompter, the words on the teleprompter that he's not supposed to say. He was supposed to say stuff and then it says, the teleprompter says, and he's like, oh, the teleprompter says, like, what the fuck? You could have got away with it when Sleepy Joe was in office. Trump ain't having it. You keep trying, but it doesn't work. You can shoot us. You can try and blow us up. You can do whatever you want to do, but Trump is still your fucking president. And your bullshit shenanigans are gonna get shut the fuck down. Because we're tired of it. And you're ruining your own fucking party. Because do you think people are gonna want to vote Democrat ever again? With all the bullshit you're doing? People are gonna be like, I'm not voting for fucking Democrats. Look at how you're acting like a bunch of fucking babies, newborn babies. You're stomping your feet when you don't get your way and you're doing all this crazy bullshit. What the fuck? Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants all these fucking illegals running around the fucking country trying to kill us and shit. And what's funny is, not that long ago, I was talking to my uncle and we were talking about the border and everything. And I said, you know what? It's going to be real fucked up one day when we have another terrorist attack. And who the fuck are they going to blame for that? When one of these motherfuckers that border jumped and fucking decides to blow up one of our fucking buildings, what are they going to say about that? What are they going to do about that? Because that's soon. That will happen. Something like 9/11 will happen. Maybe not on that scale, but something will happen. Unfucking believable. So here I have the terror complaint. I'm not gonna read all of it. I'm just gonna get to what they were charged with. The state, the following best of my knowledge and belief, the date of December 12th in California. Let's see, the affidavit. Let's see. Hold on, I just want to. Oh, is this like. This isn't. Oh, okay, hold on. This affidavit is made in support of arrest warrants and criminal complaint against Audrey Carroll, also known as whatever the fuck, Zachary Page, Dante, and Tina for violation, conspiracy count 1, possession of an unregistered destructive device on or about December 12th. The facts set forth in this affidavit are based on my personal observations, my training and experience, and information obtained from various law enforcement personnel, witnesses. The affidavit intended to show merely that there's sufficient and probable cause for the requested warrants, and criminal complaint does not purport to set forth all of my knowledge of or an investigation to this matter. Usually specifically indicated otherwise, all conversations and statements described in this affidavit are related in substance and in part only, and all dates and times are on or about those indicated. They talk about the Carol doing her Operation Midnight bullshit bombing plot. AK, who was later identified as Page, was also present during the meeting, specifically when the plan contemplated planting backups with IEDs to be simultaneously detonated at 5 locations targeting 2 U.S. companies at midnight on New Year's Eve in the Central District of California. The plan stated the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs, included instructions on how to manufacture the bombs, and included guidance to avoid leaving evidence behind that could be traced back to the co-conspirators. Oh, you were really trying to be smart, but you didn't write down the part of how not to get caught before your terror attack. You stupid fuck. You want to include instructions on how to make bombs, how not to leave evidence behind. That's all you did was leave evidence behind, and you left enough evidence for them to horn in on you and find you and fucking foil your entire operation. 'Cause you're a bunch of fucking idiots. And you left nothing but a fucking paper trail of everything you were fucking doing. Or were gonna do. I love how you fucking libs think you're so fucking smart. You're not. You're fucking stupid. And it makes me angry how stupid you are. And what makes me more angry is that innocent people lose their lives because you're fucking stupid. That's it. You're a bunch of fucking retards. Yeah, I said it, retards. Fucking sue me. Get mad and go, oh, she said a bad word. Well, back when I was growing up, everybody said fucking retard. You did something fucking retarded, we called you a retard. Because that's what the fuck you are. Okay, so I have a few videos I'm gonna play for you.
and the authorities that just provided this briefing do believe that they have everyone who was involved in custody. For viewers who are watching their screens, they were actually just showing a moment ago surveillance footage. They had actually been able to film them. Here it is right here on your screen, testing these.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Federal and local law enforcement in Los Angeles today announced the arrest of 4 individuals who they say had planned to bomb several Los Angeles area businesses on New Year's Eve. The arrests appear to have foiled what they say could have been a deadly terror attack. FBI and federal prosecutors say the 4 people who they arrested were part of a radical faction of a left-wing anti-government group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. This small group had worked for weeks on a plan to make and distribute pipe bombs at different locations of 2 different U.S. businesses in Los Angeles and Orange County. The group was finally arrested on Friday, December 12th, after officials tracked them to a remote desert location near 29 Palms, where officials found the group with materials that they say could have been used to make devices that could explode or Molotov cocktails. The investigation is still ongoing, but officials believe that they have arrested everyone involved with this specific plot.
Okay. And here's Cash Patel.
Los Angeles.
Wow.
Reports that it's disrupted a planned New Year's Eve terror attack in Los Angeles. 4 suspects in custody. The FBI identifying them as members of a pro-Palestine extremist group. They're suspected of planning coordinated IED attacks targeting 5 different locations in Los Angeles. Based on the reporting now, preparation for the plan, the co-conspirators purchased multiple pieces of bomb-making materials and discussed their travel plans to the desert. Last Friday, December 12th, the defendants took a significant step to carry out their plans. They traveled to the remote campsite, which you're going to see some video of, in the desert, and they began unloading their bomb-making materials to assemble and test the bombs. They had everything they needed to make an operational bomb at that location, and they were subsequently arrested by the FBI before they could build a functional explosive device. Shortly after the defendants were taken into custody, the FBI executed multiple search warrants, including at the defendants' Southern California residence and other locations throughout the country. In Carroll's residence, law enforcement found multiple posters and materials associated with Turtle Island Liberation Front, including posters stating, quote, "Death to America, long live Turtle Island and Palestine," and quote, "Death to ICE, Turtle Island Liberation Front." In Page's residence, law enforcement found a copy of the detailed bomb attack plan. This case is another reminder about the dangers that radicalized Antifa-like groups pose to people, public safety, and the rule of law. In preparation,
I mean, it's ridiculous. You're not even safe in your own fucking country. You have to worry about these fucking people coming up to you in a store, cussing you out for shirts you have on. They're trying to blow shit the fuck up. They're fucking running around in the streets, screaming, trying to throw fucking bricks in your car, fucking laying in front of your car, doing all kinds of fucking crazy shit. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Really, what is the fucking issue? What is your problem? What the fuck? And everything you scream that you're saying you don't want, you're actually doing all of those things. Oh, Trump's a fascist. No, he's not. And you don't even know what the fucking word means. You don't know what the word means. Because if you did, you probably wouldn't be saying it, because you'd have to look inward and go, oh, wait, we're actually being fascists now that I know what the definition of the word is. I'm trying to hurt people so they don't speak and say things I don't like. Words hurt people. You can't say bad things. Yet, you guys say bad things to people all the time. And racism is the one thing you guys say all the time. Calling somebody a racist that's not a racist actually makes you a racist, to be quite honest. And since it's being used so much, the word is watered down at this point. Like, you say it so fucking much that the word doesn't even have the same meaning as it did a long time ago. Like when I was in school. Like if you said the fucking if you said nigger, everybody went, "Oh my god. You can't say that. That's racist." If you called somebody a racist, you better have evidence as to why you called them that. And that was a bad, bad thing. Now, you use it so much, it's almost a term of endearment. Oh, she's calling me a racist. How cute. Because I know I'm not. But you say it just makes you look crazy and pathetic. And it just makes you a racist. You're calling me a racist because of the color of my skin. You think because I'm white and I'm a conservative that I'm a racist, which is the definition of racism. You are judging somebody by the color of their skin. And you're pushing a narrative on them that is not accurate. Now, I say words all the time. Some are bad words, and they're not nice, but it doesn't mean I'm a racist. And even though I'm half black, I don't say, oh, well, I'm half black, so I can say whatever I want. No. But I will say whatever I want if it calls for it. If you're acting like the word I used, that's why I said it. Not because I'm racist, because you are what I'm saying. Does it mean that I think that about every Muslim or every black person or every Jewish person or every Asian person? No. No. Shit, I'm outgoing. I can be friends with fucking everybody. But except for liberals. Crazy liberals at this point. So I wanted you to hear this these last two videos. It's Nick Fuentes, and I just kind of started getting into him. I've heard about him, but I was, I had differences of opinion with him. Charlie Kirk was the only one I went really hard for. Because he never said anything I ever disagreed with. And then I also like Brandon Tatum or Officer Tatum. The only thing I disagree with him on is the Candace thing. He's friends with her, so he doesn't put her under the fire like he should. So I disagree with him on that, but I agree with him on all his other policies. But Nick Fuentes, he's kind of out there, but of late I've been seeing a lot of his videos and I started to like him. He's said the N-word a few times and people call him a racist and an anti-Semite and whatever. Usually, I don't really rock with people that hate Jews. I'm not saying that I hold the torch for all Jewish people, but I don't see them as harmful like they do. Like they want to like wipe out the Jews. They think they're like horrible people and all this stuff, and they want to fucking get rid of all the Jews in Israel and fucking all kinds of shit. And no, that's God's land. Jesus died there, and yes, in the book, Jews are the ones who killed Jesus, and that's why Jews have a shitty rep to this day, because nobody will ever forget that. But you have to remember that these are completely different Jews than the Jews back then that did that thing, that atrocity. Those Jews aren't even the Jews that occupy Israel now. So you can't just be like, oh, well, the Jews killed Jesus, so they suck and we hate them and whatever. Jews have been getting persecuted for ever and have been slaves, and then all of that shit. And black people want to go, oh, we had slavery. We should get reparations. Ugh. Bitch, you had it fucking easy. Don't talk about reparations. You want to talk about the fucking Jews. They had it way worse than you ever did. You were slaves because your own people sold you to white people. Okay? So remember that. Think about that. You want to say white people are racist, like white people just sailed to your land and took you right out of your home and brought you over here. No, they paid for you. Your own people said, you can have this one. I don't need them. They're fucking weak, whatever. And any excuse. And they got a bunch of gold and whatever, food, whatever the white people gave them. And you got a bunch of fucking slaves aboard a ship and they brought them back here. That's why I don't even like the fact that they call black people in America African American. You're not African. You're not. You're not from Africa. Now, if an African comes from Africa and is here, he is an African American. You're just fucking black. Yeah, sure. Your ancestors came from Africa. They were African American, but you're not. African, Africa isn't a fucking bloodline. It's a fucking country. So you say African American because they came from Africa. Why are we calling black Americans African Americans when they did not come from Africa? Makes no fucking sense. I don't understand why we have to say a color at all. You're fucking American. Black American, fucking, you don't say white American. When you look at a white person, you just call them an American. You don't say Japanese American. You just call them Japanese. Or Asian American. You just say Asian. Black people are the only people we have to say African American. It's stupid and it makes no fucking sense. My rant is over for that. But that's the kind of shit that fucking Nick Fuentes would talk about. It's basically where I was going with that. So, I thought this was perfect for this episode. And then, when I do the Candace Owens episode, because of course I have to talk about that, I have a lot to unpack with her. And I caught her in a lie, and I have the lie. I have her lying, and then her trying to back out of her lie, right side by side to each other. Yeah, she fucking lied. Piers Morgan fucking made her look dumb as fuck. That was the stupidest thing she did, getting on Piers Morgan, because she looked fucking dumb. And you could tell she was a liar. So, I believe I'm going to be doing that episode Monday. And I'm gonna have a co-host on the show with me. So here's this.
Do not mistake what I mean by defeat them. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. But I want to make that clear right now. This is not a call for violence. Here is what I will say about left-wingers, because a lot of left-wing people reached out to me and they told me, you have a responsibility. They said, we're afraid right now. They said, you need to lead people away from violence. I agree with them. But where was that mentality when someone showed up at my house with a gun and failed? Those people are not reaching out then. Where was that mentality throughout all of the persecutions, all the suffering? Now, this is speaking from a place of resentment. They're afraid. They're afraid that the right is going to punch back 1,000 times as hard. And we could, and we can. And I fear that some might. And I hope to God that they don't. In some sense, the right to be afraid, we should all be afraid that something we can't control may happen. Here is what I will say to those people. I and Charlie Kirk, for years, pushed a peaceful resolution. We invited the left to debate, negotiate. We played within the system. When Obama told us, you got to win elections, we tried that. And look at what they did to Trump. They shot him in the fucking head. We tried to do it your way. We tried to debate, to go to the polls, the voting booth. People ran for office. And what did they encounter? Intimidation, menacing, harassment, slander, lies, assassination attempts, and successes. Now the left says we need to bring down the temperature. Here is what I would say to the left. The left now has an obligation. You can turn down the temperature. The left in America now, everybody in America now must come together and disavow this nihilistic, malevolent violence. You all have an obligation. I have that obligation. I think I have done it. I condemn the violence, all of it, all of the nihilistic violence, whether it comes from the far right, the far left, whether it comes from Dylan Roof, the Buffalo shooter, or someone like this. It's your job too. You must condemn it loudly, loud enough that we can hear it, and you have to mean it. And I think of somebody like Hassan Piker, such a hollow, empty, sad person. Hassan Piker saw Charlie Kirk, someone he knew, get shot in the neck and his neck erupt with blood. We don't need to be graphic about the details. Do not mistake what.
Okay, and then this one.
Is that how we solve our problems? We kill each other? Well, but Charlie Kirk said this. Okay, well, we disagree with you. Should we go and shoot you in your house? And what is our country going to become? Who's going to run our country? The toughest warlord? Where do you think that goes? This is how you solve problems? You get a gun like a coward and sneak up behind someone and shoot him in the head? And then what? They don't like you, so they're going to do it to you and you do it back? And pretty soon we have a country that's run by warlords. We have rule by the most brutal, the most cruel, the most malevolent, Nobody wins in a society like that. After millions of corpses are stacked up, we will be ruled by the most brutal tyrant you could ever imagine. Is that the kind of society you want to live in? That's where this is headed. Obviously. And in some sense, the left is right to be scared because the right is proficient in violence. The left is more willing, the right is more capable. What do you think happens in a civil war? You already see the cruelty of some people on the right. You know, I'm sure there are people on the left that are saying, is this really what the left needs? Is another transsexual or pro-liberal someone bringing down heat on all of them? Good luck. You know, it's like the Dark Knight. You're telling me that Donald Trump is a billionaire who's also secretly a fascist, racist, empowered by Palantir and AI surveillance, and your job is to dare that administration to create tyranny? You know, and not to sound glib or whatever, but this is what we're talking about. So there must be a new consensus that this kind of inhuman, uncharitable, hateful nihilism, it has to be the scourge of our society. We have to do our part to drive it out. And you know what the best way to do that is, other than the obvious, which I already see people doing, and you know what? Good. I see people getting these people fired. I see people holding these people accountable, and good on them. Our strongest weapon is to shine. Our strongest weapon, if you, as I said, really believe in God, it's not a gun. It's not some other weapon of choice. Our strongest weapon is the power of prayer. And I know that's taken a lot of heat. I know there's a lot of cynical, arrogant people that think they know better. They say thoughts and prayers. When you put your intentions and your consciousness and your conscience in alignment with the true and living God, the God of mercy, the God that is synonymous with love, the God that is synonymous with truth and charity, it will shine through your actions.
And he had a very good point, and he said it better than I could have said it. There is too much of this bullshit going on. And we need to figure it the fuck out. Because you don't want to see what the right will do once you pushed us over the fucking edge. And it's gonna be it'll be bad. It'll be bad. And it'll be bad for you. You will lose. And you will weep. And you will cry and want the cops to help you that you hate so much. That's what would happen. You people are fucking disgusting. Absolutely fucking gross. So that concludes our show for tonight. And yay, tomorrow I will have my new microphone, so I won't have to play my music through my phone. I will be able to play it through my machine, and it'll sound better and everything. So I'm excited, and I should have another good show for you tomorrow. I'm gonna be talking about Carmelo Anthony, and I know you haven't heard that name in a while, but he is the black young man that stabbed this white young man who told him to get up out of his seat because the black kid wasn't supposed to be there and knew he wasn't supposed to be there and was sitting there on purpose, and he ended up stabbing and killing the white kid when the white kid, all he did was ask him to move. So I have that and a few videos on that, and if I have time I will maybe talk about something else tomorrow. I have to see if there's anything new to talk about. I am going to keep an eye on the Boston shooting or the MIT shooting, and the Browns University shooting. So if they say they did catch them, I will put that on tomorrow's episode. So have a good night, y'all.